Justin Moore. And just recently, there was a fire at my apartment complex, more specifically in my building. Now, I wasn't affected completely by the fire, but there is damage to my apartment as a result of the fire. This video isn't actually about me completely. I will have my own account of how I was made aware of this situation taking place at my apartment building. But this is actually going to be a video that showcases the damage it causes to others when a company who otherwise should have your best interest at heart do not. And in fact, they are looking for ways to push off any accountability and not take any responsibility. So that's what this video is actually for. So it's mostly going to be interviews that I took during this whole situation that has unfolded today. And today meaning June 5th, 2026. And you could probably hear behind me some drills and some saws and things like that. And that's because the maintenance crew is currently working on fixing some things for the apartments that haven't been displaced, because at least 4 units in this building have been displaced because of this incident. And while accidents do happen, what needs to be noted is that accidents happening can be avoided if proper protocols are taken. And what I mean by that is that this fire was 100% avoidable. And what I mean by that is that the fire was caused by something with an air conditioning unit. Someone was working on an air conditioning unit, and this is my alleged opinion. This is my alleged opinion based on the logic of what I saw and kind of a process of elimination. Because what I saw and what helped me form my alleged opinion was that someone unqualified was working on the air conditioning unit, one of the air conditioning units at my building, and it caught fire. I don't know anything more than that. I'm going with that because I've lived here long enough to know that this company will cut a corner to save $1. And if they can have their maintenance guys band-aid an AC issue, then it saves them the thousands of dollars they would have otherwise spent hiring an HVAC company. Even though they will tell you that all of their maintenance personnel are HVAC certified. And when I talked to my brother about it, he brought up a key point, a very, very, very key point. If they are HVAC certified, they would be on the EPA registry, because those are the only people that issue a license to work on HVAC systems, because it's an EPA regulated field. EPA standing for the Environmental Protection Agency. You have to be certified through the EPA to be able to work on an HVAC system, otherwise known as an AC unit. So the fire, based on my alleged opinion, started when unqualified personnel were working on an AC unit and the accident happened. So now I will go into the account of the people that are ultimately affected by this accident, if you will. So take a listen. We're aware of the fire that took place at your apartment building. Give us the account of how you were made aware of the fire in your apartment building.
I was called at 12:30, and this girl Madison, who is the leasing management, called me and stated that there is a fire in my apartment. She told me not to worry; they have it under control, but they will reach out to me in the event that I need to be like placed into a hotel or anything, like any accommodations. However, I did leave my job and came here, and when I did, there was a lot of firefighters and smoke, and it was just a lot going on. And now that I have a glimpse of my apartment, it looks horrible. It looks beyond horrible. Like the ceilings and everything is busted out, smoke everywhere, trash everywhere. Like it's really that bad. I cannot have my special needs child in this house. Like it's that bad. Like if I brought him into this house and he breathed that, I would have to physically take him to the hospital for breathing treatment, and that is not safe.
So you said that you have a special needs child. So what kind of accommodation are they planning to give you for possibly being displaced from your apartment?
They were speaking about giving us a hotel, like the people that were really affected throughout the building, because they told me my house is inhabitable and I would need to go to either a hotel. But realistically speaking, at this point, I would like to get my yesterday's rent back and my deposit so I can just move out.
So, what was your first instance of being made aware of the fire that had taken place in your apartment building?
I was honestly called by a neighbor in the opposite building. I was down in Cincinnati making a load. He called me at 1 o'clock, and I was an hour and 30 minutes away. And he told me it was like 20 trucks here, and I'm over here like, what's going on here? Then I get here because I dropped off my load, and I just told my job, I said I can't do my next load because my door is busted in. I got holes in my wall, and I just moved in on May 18th.
So you said you had just moved in May 18th.
Yep.
So what does that what does the future of your living situation look like at a place that had just had a fire after you only moving in for less than a month?
1 sec, I'm getting a call. But honestly, I don't know right now. I mean, I got my renter's insurance, so hopefully that covers something. So besides that, I can't really say.
Okay, so I've talked to Naima, I've talked to Aaron, I have my own account, and I would like to hear your account of you being made aware that your apartment building had caught fire.
I was about 2 stoplights away. I got a phone call that the building was afire and that they were gonna somewhat accommodate us, but they would like me to come in person to speak about it. And I said, okay. I tried to ask questions on the phone, like where did it start? How much damage is there in my unit? No answers. Even now, to the moment when after I've been over there, they still have no account to tell me how it started or anything. No accommodations, no resolutions to the problem. The only thing we know is that there is a huge hole in the building. That's my only account of this right now. No resolutions have been made at all.
Okay. So you live with your mother. How is this going to affect you all's living accommodation? Because you said that they said that they're going to accommodate you all, but have they given you any idea of what kind of accommodations, and how does that work with your mother, who is not the most mobile person?
Precisely. I'm still trying to figure out how that will work. My mom, the reason why I'm even here with her is because she was in the ICU twice in a span of less than 2 months. So I'm here to kind of nurture her back to health. So they said they would probably accommodate us in a hotel. I went trying to speak to them. Obviously, I'm not pleased about this. And I guess they didn't receive the way I was asking questions well, so they kicked me out of there. So now I still don't know what accommodations are going to be made for us. No hotel, no, we haven't even been in the unit. All I know is there's holes in every wall in the unit, and the smell of smoke is burning my lungs right now, actually, as we speak.
One question I did forget because it's been brought up many, many times. You gave an account prior about the maintenance personnel at the apartment complex, constantly working on your air conditioning units, your unit. And we have it's our alleged opinion that that's what caused this fire. So give your account of how the whole thing is gone with this whole AC unit repair.
Well, actually, this AC unit repair has been ongoing for 2 years. Yes, you heard me correct. 2 years. Again, I wasn't living here until my mom got sick, so I've been here about 2 to 3 months. And that's when we first started putting in the work order because it's getting to the summer now. So it wasn't even hot at first when we tried to get them to come fix the AC. The first two guys they sent, they made it worse. Instead of having AC, we didn't have any AC or heat. So then now they sent the new supervisor guy, who's the one we've been seeing the past, I would say, month and a half. He's been here about 3 times, 3 different work orders, telling us it's fixed, and it's not fixed. Yesterday, when we had to call them about the AC again, it was 80 degrees in the house from 11 a.m. until like 9 p.m. when the sun set. And then they came back this morning. He said before we left, he was going to be using some fire in the unit, so he would be opening the windows. Immediately to me, that was strange. Again, I'm not an HVAC tech, but the reason why it was strange to me is because they've been in the unit for the past 2 to 3 months fixing the AC, and nobody has ever came in and used any type of fire. So when he said he's going to be using fire, but they're going to open the windows so it won't be hot, that was concerning to me. Again, no one has still been able to give me a full account of what happened. They just said when they were trying to do something on the outside AC unit, not the one inside, it caught fire and it climbed up the walls, hence all our units being damaged. But he mentioned fire to me, which was extremely strange, and now the entire building caught on fire.
Okay, so I've gotten accounts from almost everybody in the building. I'm still working on some of the others, but I would like your account of how you were made aware of the fire that was taking place in your apartment building.
I was at work and I saw numerous notifications from my Ring camera that is mounted onto my door. I checked the thumbnails of the recordings and found that the fire department was breaking my door down. They had asked on the camera if there was anybody in the house. I said just animals. They continued to break in. They broke out the windows, and they allowed themselves entry into all of the separate apartments throughout the building to ensure that there was no people or no animals in immediate danger. I then raced here. I arrived and started looking for my pets. Luckily found them. The damage to my apartment was very minimal, exclusive to the windows that were busted out and the door that was busted in. And then after the craziness died down, I then reviewed my Ring camera footage for the events leading up to. And in the apartment building directly across from mine, I saw that they had a total of 3 separate maintenance crew employees that are employed by Lake Eden Apartments, or the leasing office. Yes, 5812 Investment Group. That's the shirts and the vans that they wear and drive in. 3 separate mechanics from the leasing office were working in the apartment directly across from mine, where the point of origin of the flame was. I was able to go into his apartment, and I did find some tools in the area of his HVAC machine for his air conditioning. And it is very apparent that that is where the flames sprouted from. The flames climbed the machine, went directly up into the ceiling, into the walls, into the ceiling, and into the roof, into the apartment above his, and it burned down his exterior wall.
So now that you've heard all the accounts of how everyone else was made aware of their apartment, that the apartment building was on fire, I'm going to give my account. Because this morning when I left to go and do work, I didn't, something just didn't seem right. But I passed it off and just went about my day. I went over to Target to do a grocery delivery order, and during the checkout is when I'm getting a notification on my Ring camera from one of the maintenance personnel informing me that there was a fire. At that moment, I rushed through the checkout and rushed back here. Once I got here, I was enraged. I was not the nicest person because all I worried about was my rabbit. Once I realized, or once I had found out that he was good, none of the fire had gotten to my apartment, and very little smoke had gotten to my apartment before they vented it out. So once everything was good and I knew he was safe, that's when I went into data collection. Because this instance is one of many, not many fires here. This, I will say, this in the 3 years ish I've been here, this is the first fire. But this is one of many instances of how this company strangleholds the employees where things can't be properly done and taken care of. Instead of hiring an HVAC company to come out and fix the air conditioning units or replace them altogether, they tasked their people with working on it. And from what I've gathered through conversation between the maintenance personnel, it is as I said it was. A unqualified person was doing something with equipment that he wasn't qualified to do without the proper safety equipment. And I can guarantee none of the people here have an EPA license. And if they do, I would love to see them. And I would love to know why a new person was left unattended or even put up to the task without the proper credentials to do what was done that caused the fire. Because as I've been saying, it's my alleged opinion that the air conditioning unit maintenance was what caused this fire. So, luckily, everyone is safe. No animals were hurt in the making of this house fire. I'm glad that no one was hurt and everyone is safe. But real accountability needs to be held. And 5812 Investment Group needs to be the ones to pay that price of accountability. Have a great night. Like, share, subscribe. Peace out, Girl Scout.